to Macbeth. Myself and the King's Crown Shakespeare Troupe would like to welcome you to our first main stage in-person show since the fall of 2019 in the Clicker Millsy Theater. A few things before we begin the show. First, the show contains A, depictions of violence, and B, strobe lighting. So be aware of that. If you need to exit the theater for any reason during the show, the exits are located at the back of the theater on both sides. But if you have to leave for any reason that's not an imminent emergency, or when everyone gets up for intermission, if you could all use this entrance on the side, that would be preferable. We have actors adored backstage, so if you could all use this exit, that would be much preferred. The show will run about 2 hours, and there will be a 10-minute intermission halfway through. Thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for supporting the arts, and welcome to Macbeth. Woo!
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won,
that will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath,
there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, Grim Mountain.
As it calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? Well, he can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Save the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful its due, the stew-spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles of currents and gallowglasses supplied, and fortune on his dam crawls smiling, shouldered like a rebel's sword, but oh, too weak. For brave Macbeth, well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, with mocked with bloody execution like valor's meaning, carved out his passage, till he faced the slave, which never shook hands, nor bade for woe, till he enseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
So when the sun gets his reflection, shipbreaking storms and direful thunders breaks up from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had with bar arm compelled these skipping currents to trust their heels, but the Arean lords of vain vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
With dismayed looks our captains Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as Barrow's eagles, or the hell of a lion, if I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redouble strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint, my gashes square for God.
So well thy words become thee, as thy wounds they smack of honour both. Go hear him, surgeons. Who comes it?
The worthy Finn of Ross.
What a haste look through his eyes. Says he looked at seems to speak in straight.
God save the king.
Whence came, Sven?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, and assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, till that Belonus bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point rebellious, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Oh, great happiness! No more of that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title, great Macbeth,
I'll see it done.
what he hath lost, no Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homewards he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, hosters of the sea and land. Thus do go about, thrust to thine and thrust to mine, and thrice again to make up nine. Peace! So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How far is it called the forest? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it? Live you? Or are you what that man may question? You seem to understand me. By each at once her skinny finger laying upon her chapped lips. You should be women, and yet your fears forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak, if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail Macbeth! Thou shalt be king hereafter.
But sir, why do you start and seem to fear me if that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical? Or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner, who with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope that he seems wrapped withal, to me speak not. If you can look into the seas of time as they could strain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail!
Lesser than Macbeth, and greater!
Not so happy yet much happier.
Thou shalt yet kings, though thou be now. So, all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth! All hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By silence death I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives a prosperous gentleman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence? Or why upon this blasted heath you stalk our way with such prophetic greeting? Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has the meter of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Oh, would they had stayed?
Are such things here as we do speak about? Or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be
You
kings!
shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor, too, went it not so?
The self-same tune in words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal ventures in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silence with that, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make, strange images of death. As thick as hail came post with post, and everyone did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee for our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And, for an earnest of a greater honor, he hath bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which addition hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
Well, can the devil speak true?
Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but on a heavy judgment best our life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or to line the rebel within health and vantage, or that with both he laid in his country's wreck, I know not. The treason's capital confessed and proved it overthrown.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
My trust in home might yet enkindle you into the crown besides the Thane of Cawdor. But too strange. And oftentimes, to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us true, to win us with honest trifles, to betray us in deepest consequence. A word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial queen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good.
If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success? Commencing in a truth, I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs, against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
The power partner is right.
If chance will have me king, my chance may crown me without my spirit.
New honors come upon him by their strange garments. Cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, I say upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Come, let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then enough. Come, friend.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the man's construction in the faith. He was a gentleman in whom I feel an absolute trust. Oh, worthiest cousins, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Wouldst thou less deserve, the proportion of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I better say, more is thy due than more than all can pay.
The loyalty and the service I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should by doing everything safe toward your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble banquer, that is no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee, and hold thee to my heart.
For if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Ah! My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Son, thanes, kinsmen, and you whose places are nearest, know that we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, who hereafter we name the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompany the investing only. Signs of nobleness, like stars, shall shine on all deservers, from hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor, which is not use for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else leap. For in my way he lies. Stars, fight your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye winketh the hand. Yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
True, worthy banquet, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. Is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report that they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned the desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming out of time with hail, King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mayst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. shall be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It's too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. But thou wouldst highly, thou wouldst thou wholly, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits into thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say. Is not thy master with him, who were so of informed preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our fame is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarce more than would make up his message.
Give him tending, he brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse. That cracks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Spirits that tend my mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, and no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for all you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife sees not the wound it makes, nor heaven peek through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold! Great gloves, worthy Cawdor, greater than both body, all hail here, Alistair! Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
Dearest love. Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
I never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my thing, is as a book, where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Fair welcome. In your eye, your hand, your tongue, look like the innocent flower with the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for. And you shall leave this night's great business into my dispatch, which to all our days and nights to come gives solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle has a pleasant seat. The air, nimbly and sweetly, itself unto our gentle senses.
His guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet does approve by his love mansionry. The heaven's breath comes wooing me here. The air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, yet still we thank us love. Herein I teach how you shall bid God ill us with your pains and thank us for your trouble.
All our service, twice done, and then done double, report, and single business to contend against those honors broad and deep wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old, and the late dignities heaped up to him, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We crossed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor. But he rides well, and his great love as sharp as his spur hath holp him home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done, it is done. And for well, it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease, success. That but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instructions which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, will blow the horrid deed in every eye that tears will drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the eye. How now? What news?
He is almost up. Why you left the chamber?
Have they asked for me?
Know you not he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope gone? Wherein you dressed yourself? Have it sought since, and wakes it now and looks so green and pale, that would have did so freely. From this time, such I count thy love. But thou fear to be the same in thine own act and valor, as thou in desire. Wouldst thou have that, which thou esteemest the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat me at it.
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then, that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more of a man. No time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from its boneless gums and dashed the brains out, as I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
Fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, or to the rather, shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His two chamberlains will eye with winding the sail, so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a few, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in slumber, sleep, or dungeon natures lie as in the death, what cannot you endeavor from upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his two spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great crime?
Bring forth men, children only. For thy undaunted metal shall compose nothing but nails. It will not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber and used their very daggers that they've done.
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death.
I am settled, and bend up each corporal inch into this terrible feat. Away, and mark the time with fairest show. False face must hide what a false heart doth know.
How goes the night, boy?
The moon is set. I have not heard the clock. She goes down at 12. I take this later, so.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. The candles are all out. Take you that too. A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and I would not sleep. Merciful powers restraining me, the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
One, sir, not yet at rest. The king's abed. He hath been in unusual pleasure and sent forth great largesse to your offices. This diamond he greet your wife withal by the name of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to the fact which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have chosen truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kind seizure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchise and allegiance clear. I shall be counseled.
Good repose the while.
Thanks, sir. The like to you.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch it. I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet. In form as palpable as this, which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see ye still, and on my blade indulge in gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs us to mine eyes. Now where the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch thus with his stealthy pace. With darkened ravishing strides towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout. Take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I fret, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Sleep no more. Macbeth shall do the sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more. No more. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Macbeth shall sleep no more. Sleep no more.
That which hath made them drunk, hath made them bold, but hath punched them, hath given me fire. Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman that gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open. The surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho?
I'm afraid they have awaked. It is not done. It's the attempt and not the deed that confounds us. I laid their daggers from me. You could not miss them. You not resembled my father as he slept. I'd have done it. My husband.
I have done the deed. Did not hear noise.
Did not you speak?
When?
No.
As I descended.
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Welcome.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder. But they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
God bless us, said one, and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands. listening their fear. I could not say amen when they did say God bless us.
Consider it not so deep.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I had most need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's
What
sleep."
do you mean?
Still, he cried, "Sleep no more!" to all the hounds. Glaus hath murdered sleep, and therefore Carlo shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Worthy Thane, you do unbanish your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water and wash this filthy witness from the head. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleepy grooms of blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think of what I know. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose. Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted death. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms with all, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is thy knocking? How is it with me when every sound appalls me? What hands are here? They pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire into our chamber. Little water clears us of this deed. How easy 'tis then. Your constancy hath left you unattended.
Does not know myself. Wake up him with thy knocking! How wilt thou kill it?
3 things to drink especially provoke.
Mary, sir. Nose painting. You sleep? And urine. Luxury, sir. It provokes and unprovokes. Provokes the desire, takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with luxury. Makes him, ignores him, it sets him on, and takes him off. It persuades him, and disheartens him. Makes him stand to, and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drinking gave you the lie last night.
That it did, sir, in the very throat of me. But I requited him for his lie. And I think being much stronger than him. Let me pick up my legs somehow. Yet I'm going to shift a casting.
Is thy master stirring? Oh, my knocking has awakened him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir. Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring with you, Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely upon him. I had almost slipped the hour.
I'll show you the way.
I know 'tis a joyful trouble for you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today.
He does.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and as they say, lamentings heard I the air, strange screams of death, prophesying with accents terrible of dire combustion, confused events, new hatched to the woeful time. That obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
It was a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel the fellow to
Oh, horror! 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 Thunder, how can I conceive no envy?
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath provoked the Lord's anointed temple and stolen thence the life of the building.
What did you say? The life? Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber, destroy thy sight with a new Bourbon. See and speak yourselves! Awake, awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Malcolm, Banquo, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look upon death itself. Up and see the great doom's image. Ring the bell!
What's the business of the hideous trumpet call to parley the sleepers of the house?
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear when I can speak the repetition in a woman's earward murder as it fell. Banquo, royal masters, murdered.
Alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I pray thee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left in this vault of the dragon.
What is in this? You are. You do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
How? By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their faces and hands were embadged with blood, and so were their daggers, which unwiped we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition my violent love outrun the cause of reason. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. His dashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There his murderers, steeped in the colors of their unmannerly trade, their daggers breached with gore. Who could refrain? Who had a heart to love, and in that heart courage to make love known?
Help me, hands up.
Look to the lady. Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument from ours? What should be spoken here where our fate, hid in an auger hole, may rush and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked brow, we take that suffer and exposure, Let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work to know it further. Fears and struggle shake us. In the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So all,
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. We'll to England. Our separated fortunes shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The nearer blood, the nearer bloody. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which seals itself when there's no mercy left.
I can remember well, within the volume of which time I've seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest. The heavens is troubled with man's act fresh in this bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet the dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Is it the night's predominance or the day's shade, that darkness is the face of earth and tomb, and living light should kiss it?
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against the plebeians, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon. Here comes the good Macbeth. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why? See you not?
'Tis known who did this mortal bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas, the day! What good could they protect?
They were stubborn. Malcolm, the king's son, has stolen away and fled, which puts upon him suspicion of the deed.
Against nature's still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own life's means. Then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scotland to be invested.
Why is Duncan's body?
Carried to Colquhoun, the storehouse of his predecessors and guardians of their bones.
Will Eustace go?
No, cousin Ellen Fife.
Well, I will with her.
May you see things done well there. Adieu, lest our old road sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad, and friends of foes.
them. As upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why? By the verities of thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope. Hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
He had been forgotten, urban as a gap in our great feast, and all thing unreturning.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir. And I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with the most indissoluble tie forever next.
Ride you this afternoon.
Aye, my good lord.
We should also desire for good advice in this day's council. To bring both grave and prospects, but we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as to pull up the time to exist and suffer, but not my horse the better. I must become a borrower of the night for a dark hour of train.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousin is bestowed in England, not confessing his cruel parricide, filling his hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, and therewithal we shall have cause of state craving his jointure. Hie you to horse, adieu till you return tonight. Goes Flance with you.
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horse is swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To make society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. God be with you. Sarah, a word. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing, but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom which doth guide his valor to act in safety. There is none but he whose being I do fear. Under him my genius is rebuked, as it is said Mark Antony's was by Caesar. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon him, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they held him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered. Put rancors in the vessel of my peace, only for them, and mine eternal jewel given to the common enemy of man, to make them kings, the seed of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate into the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please don't ask.
Well then, now have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in the times past which held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I made good to you in our last conference, passed in probation with you. How you were born in hand, how crossed the instruments, who wrought with them, and all things else that might, to half a soul and to a notion crazed, say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in your nature that you can let this go? Are you so gospel to pray for this good man and for his issue, whose heavy hand hath bowed you to the grave and beggared yours forever?
We are men.
I am the catalogue ye go for men, as hounds, greyhounds, mongrels, spaniels, curs, shaws, water rugs, and demi wolves are kept all by the name of dogs. Now, you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it. And I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wear our health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege. The vile blows and buffets of the world have so incensed I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, tugged with fortune, that I would set my lie on any chance, to mend it or be rid of it, both of you. No Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance, that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves. Acquaint you with the spy of the time, the moment honored. For it must be done tonight. And something from the palace always thought I required clearness. And with him, to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, his son Fleance, who keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart.
We're resolved, my lord.
I'll call to you anon. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight. If it find heaven, it must find it out tonight.
Aye, madam, but returns again tonight. So to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words. Madam, I will. Nights high, all spent. Where our desire is back without content. Safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell and doubtful joy. How now, my lord? How do you keep alone? Sorry fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former too. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer. Every will eat on meal and fear, and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams which shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel, nor poison, malice, domestic, foreign, navy, nothing can touch me further.
Gentle, my lord. Before your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love. And so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence both with eye and tongue. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering strings, and make our faces visards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his flaons lives.
In the nature's cavities not return.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou joking. Ere the bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate summons the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums, hath rung night's yawning peal, there shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest child, till thou applaud the deed. Come, sealing night, and scarf up the tender eye of the pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rise. Thou marvelst at my words, hold me still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So, prithee, go with me.
He was saying we should have put him more. Yeah, he might have signed it. Yeah, we're doing that. He's telling me, he's like, I'm gonna regret this. That's so personal.
Oh my god, if I ever
Okay.
get someone to do it, can I clean this? That's so you just see you like clear smell and it makes you oh my god.
delivers our offices and what we have to do to direct and just.
Then stand with us. The west yet glimmers with some streaks of day. Now spurs the later travelers apace against the time, and near approaches the subject of our watch. Hark! I hear horses.
Then to see, the rest are within the note of expectation already in the court.
And horses go about, almost a mile, but he does as usually as all men do, from hence to the palace gate maketh their walk. What? 'Tis he. Stand to it.
Will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Treachery! Fire and fire! 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 Fire!
Who did strike out the light? Was not the way? There's but one down, the sun is fled.
We've lost the best half of our fare.
Let us away, and say how much is done. You all know your degrees? Sit down. First and last, a hearty welcome.
Your Majesty, the knights of Burmese so to all our friends, from my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. I'll sit here in the midst. Be large in mirth. Anon will drink a measure the table round. There's blood on my face. This bank was there. It's better deep without than he within. Is he dispatched? I saw it, sir, Scott. And everything. I was the best to come to us. Yet he's good that took a light for flames. Thou didst it? Thou art the non-bride. What's wrong, sir? Francis. It comes a fit again! I had else been perfect. Whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I'm tattered, clipped, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fear. The bankroll safe. Safe in a ditchy bind, with 20 trenchant gashes on his head, the least a death for nature. Thanks for that. Get thee going. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, do not take the chair. He's the soul that is not often vouched, though his making is given a welcome. To feed the rest at home amidst the sauce the ceremony. We were there alone.
Sweet remembrance. Now, good digestion, weight on appetite, and health on both. Please your mind sick. Here have we now our country's honor roofed, with the graced person of our banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please, your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here's a place for you, my lord.
Where?
Here, my lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you has done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did. Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not
Say it, worthy friends, my lord is often thus and hath been from his youth. Keep see, the fit is momentary, upon a thought he will again be well. If much you know him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed, and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one that dare look on that which might have called the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger that you said led you to Duncan. These flaws and starts, imposters, the true fear will become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by her grunting. Shame itself, why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee! See there! Behold! Look! How sayest thou? Why, what care on? If thou canst not, speak to! If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we buried back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites.
What quite unmanly folly.
If I stood here, I saw him.
Why, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now, in the olden time. Ere the human statue purged the dental wheel, the time has been when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again, with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stool. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My dearly Lord, your noble friends do like you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all, then I'll sit. Give me wine. Don't fall. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss, would he were here. To him and all we thirst, and all to all.
Our duty from the pledge.
Avaunt! Between my sight! Let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are metallic! Thy blood is cold! Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with!
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom. Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
One man dare I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, the hurricane tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. Hands! Horrible shadow! Unreal mockery, hands! I saw, being gone, I'm a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition I know, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine are blanched with fear.
What sights, my
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and that's a health of His Majesty.
A kind good night to all.
They will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by magpies and troughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds of the morning, which is which.
What sayest thou? That Macduff denies his person at our great bidding.
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way that I will send. There's not a one of them but in this house I keep a certain feet. I will tomorrow. times I will, to the weird sisters. More shall we speak, for now I am bent to know, by the worst means, the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wait no more, the turning were as tedious as go oars. Strange things I have in head, that will to have, which must be acted ere they may be said.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Ah, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Wicked works all we have done, have been but for a wayward son. Spiteful and wrathful, who, as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now, get you gone, and have the paperbacker on. Meet me in the morning, thither he will come to know his destiny. I am for the air this night I'll spend, unto a dismal and a fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon, upon the corner of the moon. There hangs a vapor's drop profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic slice shall raise such artificial sprites, and by the strength of their illusion shall draw him on to his confusion. He shall spurn fate, scorn death and bear. He hopes love, wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret further. May I say, things have been born strangely. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth. Marry, he was dead. And the right valiant banquo walked too late, whom you may say, Fleon's killed for Fleon's fled, and must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Malcolm to kill his gracious father? Damned fact, how would he grieve Macbeth? Did he not straight impious rate the two delinquents tear, who were the thralls asleep and slaves of drink? Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for it would have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say Macbeth has borne all things well, and I do think that had he Duncan's son under his teeth, he should find what it was to kill a father. So should Flames. For peace, for from broad words, because he failed his presence in retiring to feast, I hear Macduff is in disgrace. So can you tell what he bestows himself?
The son of Duncan, from whom this tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court, and is received of the most pious Edward with such grace that the malevolence of fortune nothing takes from his high respect. Thither Macduff has gone to pray the holy king upon his aid to wake Northumberland in warlike Seward, that by the help of these and him above to ratify the work we may again give to our table meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets, bloody knives, to faithful homage and receive free honors, all which we pine for now. And this report hath so exasperated the king that he prepares for some attempt at war.
Said he to Macduff.
He did, and with an absolute, sir, not I, turns me his back and hums, as who should say, you'll rue the day that clogs me with this answer.
And that might well advise me to a caution to hold what assistance his wisdom can provide. Some holy angel flies to the court of England, and unfold this message ere he come, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country under a hand accursed.
I'll send my prayers for them.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once a hedge big one.
Harp your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time.
Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw. Toad, which under cold stone, days and nights has 31. Swelter venom sleeping's got, boil thou first in the charmed pot.
Double, double
toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, will of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blindworm sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell brought boil and bubble.
Double, double toil and trouble, Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Scale of dragon, tooth of wolf, witch's mummy, maw and gulf, of the rabbit, sea salt shark, root of hemlock, digged in the dark, finger of a bird strangled babe, ditch delivered by a grave, make the gruel thick and slab, add thereto a tiger's jaw drip, for the ingredients of our cauldron.
Double, double toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble.
Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is firm and good.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hounds? What is to you?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. However you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them bite against the churches. Though the treasure of nature's Germans tumble altogether, even till destruction sicken. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak.
Demand.
Will answer.
Say, would thou rather hear it from our mouths, or from our masters?
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in Saul's blood that hath eaten her 9 pharaohs. 3 steps sweating from the murderers, give it pour into the flame.
Come high or low, thyself cannot this deathly show.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast marked my fear aright. But one
You
word
will
more.
not be commanded. Here's another more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth!
Had I 3 years, I'd hear you.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of faith. Thou shalt not live, that I might tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this? That rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his brow the round and top of sovereignty.
Listen, but speak not to it.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam Wood, high Dunsinane Hill, shall come against him.
Thou will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix its earthbound root? Sweet Barnabas, good! Rebellion's hand rise never to the wood of Birnam rise, and our high-priced Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, and pay his breath to time and moral custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me if that power can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek and know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and eternal curse fall on you.
Show!
Show!
Show! Show his eyes!
Breathe his heart!
Come like shadows,
So depart!
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold bound brow, is like the first. The third is like the former. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? The fourth, what? Will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? Another one. A seventh. I'll see no more! And yet the eighth appears, who bears a glass which shows me many more, and some I see that twofold balls and treble scepters tear. Horrible sight. Now I see 'tis true. For the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir. All this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazed
pernicious hours that I curse in the calendar. Come in there without.
What is your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters.
No, my lord.
Want they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I heard the gallop of horse. Who was came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord. They're bringing you word. Macbeth has fled to England.
Fled to England.
Aye, my good lord.
Time. Thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is or took unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, and give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No boasting like a fool. This deed I'll do before this purpose cool. But no more sights. Come, where are the gentlemen? Bring me where they are.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
My dearest cause, I pray you, have patience.
Patience. He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
You know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom. To leave his wife, to leave his babes, his mansion and his titles in a place from whence himself does fly. He loves us not. He wants them out to touch. For the poor wren, the most diminutive of birds, will fight, young ones in her nest, against the owl. All is the fear, and nothing is the love. As little is the wisdom or the flight, so runs against all reason.
My dearest cause, I pray you school yourself. For your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best known as the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, but cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves. When we hold rumor from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and leave. I take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. Things at worst will cease, or else climb upwards to what they were before. Pretty cousin. Blessing upon you.
Father he is, and yet he is fatherless.
I am so much a fool. Should I stay longer, it will be my disgrace and your discomfort. Take my leave at once.
Sarah, your father's dead. What will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
What, with worms and flies?
This is what I get. I mean, so do they.
Poor bird, thou never fear the net nor the line, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for it. My father is not dead. Father say.
Yes, he is. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how will you do for a husband?
Why, I can buy you 20 at any market.
Then try to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, but yet in faith, with wit and not faith.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
And must they all be hanged that swear and lie?
Everyone.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. How wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, then it were a good sign that I should quickly have a new father.
Oh, Carla, how thou talk'st.
Bless you for your name. I am not known to you, though. In your state of honor, I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you nearly, but if you are to take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. To frighten you lest methinks I am too savage to do worse, with all cruelty, which is too kind a person. Heaven preserve you, I dare fly no longer.
Whither shall I fly? I have done no harm.
harm is often laudable. And to do good sometimes it counts a dangerous folly. I am, alas, for I put up that womanly defense to say that I have done no harm. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He is a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shaggy villain. No,
What? Young fry of treachery.
Please kill me, mother. Run away. I pray you.
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty.
Let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, like good men bestride our downfall and burst them. Each new morning the widow's howl and the orphan's cry with sorrow strike heaven on the face, as if it felt with Scotland and yelled out with silver of Dover.
When I believe, I'll wail. What no believe, and what I can redress as I shall find the time to, friend, I will. What you have spoke, it may be so, perchance. This tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. You have loved him well, he hath not touched you yet. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me, and wisdom to offer up a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. But I shall pray you pardon. That which you are, my thoughts cannot transpose. Angels are bright still, though the brightest fell, though all things foul will wear the brows of grace, yet grace must still look so.
I have lost my hopes.
Perchance even there I may find my doubts. Why, in that rawness, left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonors, but mine own safeties. You may be rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Leave for country, great journey, lay thy base ashore. For goodness sake, not fact thee. Where thou thy wrongs, thy timeless affairs, fare thee well, Lord. I will not be the villain that thou thinkest, for the whole space that's in the timeless rise.
Be not offended, I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. Yet for all this, when I shall tread upon a tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself I need, in whom I know all the particulars of vice, so grafted that when they be opened black, Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and my poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell to the devil damned evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But there's no bottom, none, to my voluptuousness. Your wives and daughters, your matrons and your maids could not fill up the cistern of my lust, and my desire all continent impediments would o'erbear that did oppose my will. Better Macbeth than such a wonder reign.
Boundless intemperance in nature's tyranny. It has been the untimely emptying of the happy throne and fall of many kings. Yet do not fear to take a palm that is yours. You may convey your pleasures in a spacious plenty, and yet seem cold the time you may so hoodwink. But yet willing dames enough, there cannot be that vulture in you to devour so many as will to greatness dedicate themselves, finding it so kind.
With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection such a staunchless avarice that, were I king, I should cut off the nobles for their lands, desire his jewels and this other's house, and my more having would be as a sauce to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust against the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth. This avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root than summer-singing lust. Yet do not fear, Scotland hath poisons enough to fill up your will. Of mere own, always supportable with other graces wait. But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, lowliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of each several crime, acting it many ways. Nay, had I power, I would pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern, no, not to live. Only sit miserable with an untitled, tired, bloody scepter. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction, stands accursed, and this blasphemy is breathed. Thou royal father was a most saintly king. The queen outwore thee, oftener upon her knees than on her feet, died every day she lived. Very well, Lord, these evils that were peace upon myself, I banish thee from Scotland. O thy breast I hope and see think down.
This noble passion that from my soul reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Even now I unspeak my own detractions. Here of Georgia taints and blames I laid upon myself for strangers to my nature. I am yet unknown to woman, never was forsworn, scarcely have covenant was mine own. At no time broke my faith, would not betray the devil to his fellow, and delight no less in truth than life. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Now we'll together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel. Why are you silent?
Such welcome and unwelcome things at once. It is hard to reconcile. See who comes here. My ever gentle cousin. Welcome here.
I know him now. Good God, the time to move the means that make us strangers.
Sorry, man.
Stand Scotland where it did.
Alas, poor country. Almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave. We're nothing, but who knows nothing. These once seemed to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rend the air are made, not marked. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy. The dead man's knell is their scarce asked for who, and good men's lives expire before the flower in their cap. Dire ere they sicken.
Or they shed. Too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest grief?
That of an hour's age doth hiss the speaker. Each minute teems a new one.
How does thy wife?
Why well?
And all my children?
Well too.
Has the tyrant not battered at their peace?
They were well at peace when I did leave them.
But not a misery of speech. How goes it?
When I came hither to transport the tidings which I had heavily borne, there ran a rumor among many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witnessed the rather, for that I saw that tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of help. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, would make women fight to doff their dire distresses.
Be it their comfort. We are coming thither. Gracious England hath lent us good Seward and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier, none that Christendom gives out.
When I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled in the desert air where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? Is it the general cause, or is it a free grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest bent shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Could not your ears despise my tone forever, which shall possess them with the happiest sound they've ever yet heard.
I guess I did.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered. To relate the manner whereon the quarry of those murdered dear, to add the death of you.
Mercy, heaven. What man? Ne'er pull your hat upon your brows, give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids it break.
Oh, my children too.
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must flee from this. My wife killed too.
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. Did you say all my pretty ones? Oh, how can I all my pretty chickens and their damned one fell swoop? I must feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things that were more precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinfully done. They were all slain for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for thine. Thou slaughter on their soul. And the rest of them. Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it! Oh, I could play the woman with my eyes and bracket with my tongue. But gentle heaven, cut short this intermission, front to front. Bring down this fiend of Scotland, within my sword's length set him. If he stink, heaven forgive him too. This too he goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready, our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
For 2 days watched with you, yet can find no truth in your report. When was it last you walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth the paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Get all this while I'm most fast asleep.
The great perturbation of nature to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time have you heard her say?
That, sir, which I will not report after her.
You mean to me, and 'tis most meet you should.
Neither to you nor anyone, having no witness to confirm my speech. Well, here she comes. This is her very goddess. And upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
It stood by her. It is by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their senses shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she claps her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her to continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot. She speaks. I will sit down. It comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly. Damn spot. Out! 1, 2. And then it's time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie! A soldier in a fear. And may we fear who knows it when none can call our power to account. And who would have thought the old man, who had so much blood in him? You mark that? Thane of fight, had a life. Here is she now. All of these hands ne'er be clean. No more of that, my lord, no more of that. Immoral with this starving. But you go to, you have known what you should not.
She has spoken what she should not, I'm sure of that. Who knows what she has known?
Here's the smell of the blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. I'm sorry, there is the hard sword in charge.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Oh, well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, but I have known those who have walked in their sleep who have died only in their beds. Wash your hands. Get on your nightcap, look not so pale. I tell you, yet again, Bank was buried. He cannot come out of his grave. Even so, to bed. To bed. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. whisperings are abroad and natural due to their natural troubles. Deaf mind, recognize through their deaf killers will dispense their secrets. Where she meets the divine with the physician. God forgive us all, look after her. Remove from her any means of annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. Good night. My mind she has made it an amazing sight. I think but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
The English force is near, but on by Malcolm, his uncle Stewart, and the good Macduff. Revenge is burning them. For their dear cause his woods, the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
When wood shall we meet them? That way are they coming.
I have a file of all the gentry. There are Stewart's son and many other unrough youths who even now detest their first of manhood.
What is the tire?
Great Dunsinane strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury. But for certain he cannot buckle his distempered cause within the belt of rule.
Now does he feel his secret murder sticking on his hands? Now minutely revolts upbraid his fate. Those he move only in command. Nothing in love. Now does he feel his title hang loose about him like a giant's robe on a dwarf's peak.
Well, march me on. To give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Me read the medicine of the sickly wheel, and with him pour we in our country's purge each drop of us.
Or so much as it needs to do the sovereign at German needs. Make me on march towards Burnham.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham would remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy? Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? For the spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false things, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee, black thou green-faced loon! Where gotst thou that goose look?
There are 10,000
Geese, villain?
soldiers, sir.
Go prick thy face and overrent thy beard. What soldiers, Patch? Those linen cheeks are counselors to fear. What soldiers, whey face?
The English force so please you.
Take thy face hence. Satan, I am sick at heart when I behold. Satan, I say! This push will deceive me now or cheer me ever. I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sand, the yellow leaf. And that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have. But in their stead, curses, not loud but deep. Mouth honor, breath that the poor heart would fain deny and dare not. Satan!
What is your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
Always confirm my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight him for my bones, my flesh he hath! Come, put my armor on.
It is not needed yet.
Send out more horses. Scur the country round. Hang those that talk of fear. Come, put on my armor. How dost thou patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with fit-coming fancies that do keep her from rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow. Raise out the written troubles in the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote, cleanse the stiff bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it! Seaton, send out. Come. Give me myself. Doctor, if thou couldst cast the water of my land and find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. What purgative drug, what rhubarb or sign would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them?
I make authority, your royal preparations do make us hear something.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane, to burn a forest, come to Dunstable.
Dunstable away and clear profit again should hardly draw me here.
Presents! I hope the days are near at hand, the chambers will be safe.
We doubt it not. So this is the great wood of Burma.
Let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery air in report of us.
It shall be done.
We learn no other but that the confident tyrant keeps still in Danzime and will endure our setting down before it.
'Tis his main hope, for where there is advantage to be given, both more and less have given him the revolt, and none serve with him but constrained things whose hearts are absent too.
Let our just senses attend a true event and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that shall with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Some speculative, their unsure hosts relate, but certain issues strokes, Mazar betrayed, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh a siege to scorn. Here let them lie, till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not joined with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
It is the cry of woman, my good lord.
I had almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life would. I have supped full with horrors. Direness, familiar to my slaughterous thoughts, cannot once stop. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Brief time. Life is but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and that is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signified. Nothing. come seize thy tongue, thy story, quickly.
My gracious lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well, say it, madam.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham and anon methought. The wood began to move.
Lion slave!
Let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming. I say, a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not, till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Arm, and out! If this which she avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. I begin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell! Blow wind! Turn rack! At least we'll die with harness on our back!
Now, near enough! You leafy screams thrown out and show like those you are! You worthy uncle shall with my cousin your right noble son lead our first battle. Worthy Macbeth and we shall take upon what else remains to do according to our orders.
Very well. We but find the time's power tonight. Let's be beaten if we cannot fight.
Make all our trumpeters speak, give them all breath, those clamorous harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to the stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like I must fight the course. What's he that was not born of woman? For such a one am I to fear, or none.
What is thy name?
I'll be afraid to hear it.
No. Though thou callest thyself a hotter name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself could not pronounce a title more hateful to my ear.
No, nor more fearful.
Thou liest, born tyrant. With my sword, I prove the lie thou speakst.
Swords I smile at, and weapons laugh to scorn, brandished by man that's of a woman.
That way the noises! Tyrant, show my face! If thou be slain with no stroke of mine, my wife and children's ghosts may haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched currents whose arms are high to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with unbattered edge I sheath again undeeded. Fortune, let me fight, and more I beg not.
This way, my lord, the castle is gently rendered. Tyrant's people on both sides to fight, noble things do bravely in the war. The day almost itself professes yours, and little is to do.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Enter, sir, the castle.
Why should I play the Roman fool? Die on mine own sword. While I see lives, the ashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound! Turn!
Of all men else I have avoided thee. But get thee back! My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
My voice is in my sword. Thou bloodier villain, that terms can give thee out! Thou losest labor! Let fall thy blade on vulnerable breast. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born. To spare thy charm, and that the angel whom thou hast still served, tell me Macbeth was from his mother's womb, untimely wrecked. Cursed be the tongue that tells me so. I'll not fight with thee, then yield count. And used to be the show and gaze of the time, we'll have thee as our rarer monsters are. Painted on the pole and underripped, here may you see the tyrant. I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be bathed with the ravaged blood. Though burning wood be come to Dunsinane, but thou opposed, being out no woman born, still I will try the last. Lay out, Macbeth! And down to him that first cries, hold! Enough! And would the friends we missed were safe arrived.
Some must go on, and yet, by these I see, so great a day is chiefly lost.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived but still he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed to the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man he died.
He is dead.
Aye. Brought off the field. That not with cause of sorrow we measure what his worth, for that it hath no end.
God, soldier be he. But as many sons as I have perished, I would not wish them to a fairer death. And so, his now is known.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
They say he fought it well, and paid his score. And so, God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Behold, King, for so thou art. Behold, where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail,
Hail, King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kinsmen, what's more to do which will be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny. Of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen. By the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
Hail, King of Scotland!